share screen here. All right, so yeah, so this is Nvidia chart here. Yeah, it's definitely extended. Um, yeah, there's really not much you can do at this moment. So, like you talk about ANET, right? ANET, it's called ANET. So here, this is a one, like this is fine. This is in the base, so it's coming up the right side. Um, you know, really, really fast, like super fast. Um, 2-day move. You see, that's the thing, right? You have this 3-day down, and you look at every single chart, right? Like in the high, in the excuse me, in the areas like chip stocks or software enterprise stocks, they all have similar movement. Most of them, 3 days down, which is the first 3 days of this week, and then you have this really big move in the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, because of the lift from AI stuff from Nvidia related. And so it's almost like a gold rush, to AI stocks, right? So um, yeah, um, it's I don't know, like is this? Yeah, it's exactly like this is how many sessions, right? That's what you're talking about, right? Look at how many sessions here, and it only took like two days of move to move from 140-ish to like 170, right? It's a huge move. And so this is why I said, right, like, okay, so there's no doubt there's this hype, right? The question is, okay, again, this is the challenges, right? I really like the technology sector right now, and they're leading the market. There's no doubt about it. The question is, like, how much of this is hype and how much of this is real, you know? And that's the part that I can't really decipher, right? Um, you know, I was buying, like I said, I'm not very high position this week because I was like going into the week, I was like, I don't want to hold too many stocks. And then as it dropped, like especially Tuesday and Wednesday, I bought back some position, like but not much, and so that's why unfortunately I didn't, really capitalize on this last 2 days of gains. And I sold some of them even on Thursday and Friday. Like literally, I sold most of my stuff, especially tech stuff. And because when you make like I got into Palantir, and even see even this guy was so strong, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Look at like it didn't really pull back much. I still took a risk and bought in just because of how strong it is, and and then by Thursday and Friday I was out. Like this is really fast gains here. Like I think it ran Thursday what let me see like okay, it was higher in the morning. It closed only 5%. Friday it closed 6%. Yeah, it was also higher in the morning. So both days it was like ran up pretty high in the morning. It was closer to like 8 or even 8% or close to 10%. So anyhow, I had to get out because it's just running too fast, And again, I'm not saying it can run higher. Like I said, we are at a moment where it could run another few days of rampage, right? Just FOMO, people FOMOing right now, right? And you, like I said, if you're willing to take that risk, go ahead and just manage your risk, right? But you don't want to like buy it here and let it drop below your, like let's say your risk level is the low here. Like you don't want to let it drop and all the way come back to like the base. That's $10 here, 10-ish, and right now it's $13 ish. That's the 30% move, right? I know this stock is like a little bit lower price, but still, right? So, look at SMCI again, right? You know, right now, what, 220, and if you manage your risk, you can take a 5% loss or whatever, or even less. And if it falls back, you don't like, see this 10-day is like not only is it parabolic, it's like almost vertical. Like there's no way this could sustain, right? Like this is super FOMO type of thing right now, and easily it'll break the 10-day line, right? If it falls back, and then like I say, all of a sudden you'll be at 150 or something like that. That would be a easily 25% correction, easily, right? So that's the problem right now. Is that the reward and risk. Yeah, you can try to, like I said, you got to manage your risk really well if you want to trade right now. I just can't. I don't have the stomach for it, and you know, so yeah. But the momentum is there. That's the thing. The formal momentum is there right now. People who like everyone's like, hey, I want to get into AI stocks, right? And so it could even go higher. Like this is definitely a bubble thing. And when I say bubble, I'm not meaning like a big bubble, like in every stock. No, because most stocks are already in a downtrend. So, you know, so. But again, the problem, like look at this RS line. It's just straight up. Obviously, like I said, this is probably the second best performing stock in the whole market, or even I don't know. It might be even the best performing stock. If I look at let me bring up my list here. Uh, where is the technical report? Yeah, let me pull this up. I'm pretty sure since the October low, yeah, SMCI is right here. So it's best performing tech stock. See, best performing tech stock here, right? There's some biotech stock that did better, but most of them. And then you have Oprah, Nvidia. So here you go. See, Nvidia is at number 7, SMCI number 4. And you can see the percent gain, 290% gain, 225% since October low last year. Oprah is another name that is like new to me. Um, it hasn't catch a lot of attention, but this is a really young stock. I don't even know. I don't think IBD has covered them yet. So Norway-based company designed developed web browsers for mobile phones and PCs. So I don't know what's unique about this, but the stock is on the tear. Look at all this volume here. Like someone is accumulating. Uh, yeah, like this stock is like crazy, man. Look at this. So it's already hit new high. Again, I don't know the story behind this stock. It's a young company, but they're doing really well. Like someone's buying the shares. Like there's no way that's one thing I really focus on, right? Like there's no way a stock could run up without high accumulation, especially in the volume. So always look for volume. Like so because there's so many stocks that can break out and even make new high, but who are the ones that really have lots of institution sponsorship? Now this is a young company, so it doesn't take lots to move this stock. But I'm pretty sure there's still some accumulation going on, right? But again, this is a junior type of company. Um, but it's just, but whereas SMCI is bigger, right? Like this is 1 billion. Again, another risk factor you want to manage is how big is the company you're dealing with. This is 10 billion now, over 10 billion. And then Nvidia, everyone talks about it this week. It's near 1 trillion, right? All of a sudden. And it's now becoming one of the giants, right? So, make new highs. Um, yeah. So there you go, right? So those are the few stocks at the top here. Um, yeah. Before we look at more stocks, do you have any? Let's finish the macro stuff. uh, so let me jump to okay. So this is a very big change. I feel like you know. So now because on Friday even the inflation on the consumer was it price expenditure yeah it jumped higher, right, than expected. So it's it's not a good thing. So let me go see the notes here. Friday uh and the day. I'm going backwards here. So Friday Nasdaq jumped 2.2%. 2-day surge. So Thursday, Friday, 3.9%, the best 2 days since February. The tech index has risen 5 weeks in a row. It's up now 25% for the year, right? And IBD is cautioning this happening, right? A pullback after such strong action would not be a surprise. The equal weight and the Nasdaq and equal weight S&P is saying, and it's because they are moving up, right? So, but again, this the RSP is still on the downtrend. QQE just broke out of the downtrend. Again, it shows that the rally participation is to me is just slightly, right, broadening. Um, but again, I don't believe it in too much of this right now. Fears over a possible federal default weighed on the market early in the week, so that's why it was pulling back. And then it says here that ceiling talks are making some progress on Friday. It says negotiators could maybe reach a deal this weekend. Now this Treasury, basically Yellen came out and said she thinks that now they won't run out of money until June 5th now instead of June 1st. So we'll give next week another week to deal with this issue. Nevertheless, there's more economic upheaval ahead. So like this one, personal consumption expenditure price index, our Federal's gauge of inflation rose 0.4% in April. This is higher than expected. So now the Federal Reserve may feel spurred, the likelihood of 25 basis point in June jumped to 65%. So that's what I'm talking about here, right? This has jumped a lot. So now we are going to see a raise because all the recent inflation numbers are showing that it's not cooling down, right? Especially this last few reports that we saw. So it's most likely now they're going to raise another time. Now, if they don't raise, what does that mean? I don't know. Like, is it good for the market? Or market will sell out because they're like, hey, what's wrong with the Fed? They want to contain inflation. All of a sudden, they don't want to anymore. Like, what's the problem? Is it because after the inflation issue is dealt with, the next thing is the recession issue, right? So they go hand in hand, right? So, again, should the Fed focus on inflation or recession? Which one? So if they don't raise rates to fight inflation, it means they really worry about recession. And so the market could sell off big time because of that, right? Now, that's the problem. The companies, the stocks are reflecting that. Like I say, so many stocks are in a downtrend right now, and they're in a downtrend because they think the next quarter is going to be worse, right? Meaning this current quarter. So that's the really scary part right now. It's almost like the market is set up for this huge expectation that's going to be bad, which is that's why some people also argue like people like Tom Lee still argue that he's like even for Friday he's like he still think market Nasdaq can hit 4,700, S&P can hit 4,700 right now. It's only at 4,200, right? Like S&P, if you go to S&P chart and look at this again, 4,200, 4,200, 4,200. Like, look at how many times it comes up to 4,200. Again, on Friday, we come back to 4,200. Like it seems like forever we keep talking about this, and again, like I just feel like I don't know, like until this is broken, I wouldn't take any big position, right? That's just me, okay? Once this is broken and move out of this range, um, okay, so here's the fake move. It broke this trend line down here and then it moved back out, like just one day move. So that was okay. But now again, the question comes back to this trend line here, and maybe it will. Maybe market is like, hey, market gonna look past all the worries in the world, like But I don't know. I really believe the way the market is reacting right now with the tech stocks in a really FOMO type of environment just tells me the psychology is kind of more it's more of a trap than a real bull market, right? Like in a real bull market, you should see like even the most mediocre stock can move up. You know what I mean? And that's how people make money, right? In the bull market, that's how people make money, is that you don't just invest in one sector to make money. You invest in different sectors, you diversify portfolio, and that's where most of the people invest. That's how most people invest, right? Especially the rich, is they have a diversified portfolio. They have tens of millions of dollars, or or even regular portfolio, 1 million or more. They all diversify. There should all be like, you shouldn't be like all one sector, right? And that doesn't work in the bull market. And so uh, I'm like, now I'm starting to lean towards the case is starting to build up for like a trap, and people who think this bull market has started. Like, I'm not saying this bull market is going to end. Don't get me wrong, because the true definition of a bull market is that it's on an uptrend, and it has found a low, and it's on an uptrend, right? It hasn't made that low in like many months now. But what I'm trying to say is there may be a correction, right? At some point in time, that maybe not. So this was the last correction right here. This was in February or March. Right, let me see. Yeah, from February to March, right? There was this correction, and so now, and Nasdaq did the same thing, and now Nasdaq making new high, but S&P is still trying to break that high. But at some point, this will get challenged again, one more time, especially if the recession thing is going to take hold. And that will break this. And this is when everyone will start to, scare shitless, because things will get so bad that everyone's like, oh my God, we're heading back down to this low, right? And then people are going to give up. And this is where I feel like, this is the opportunity right here. And this might be the last shakeout, right? Right here, this area. Now, I could be totally wrong. or even maybe not as bad. Maybe it could like just bounce back to 200 one more time, right? It could come back to right here, this area. Just one more time. And then, because like the thing is, here's the thing, the other thing that I kind of agree with why someone would argue for the bull case, right? Because a lot, like 80% of stocks right now are just in downtrend mode. I mean, I can pull up so many stocks. Like let's just jump to my list for just to prove this point. One second. I'll just randomly go from even the uh I won't pull any tech stock because um they're too strong. So this is BJRI. It's okay. This one is okay. It's not in the downtrend. Pan is not in the downtrend. Okay, EA. Okay, EA is not in the downtrend. These are the strongest stocks because these guys have strong earnings. MGM. Okay, so this is starting to go down, but all the casino stocks, especially ones related to China, is going down hard because of the new wires in China, right? So that's so I wouldn't count that, but yeah, there's a new corona virus in China. Yeah, yeah, it's really big. I think it's spreading to like they estimate it will spread 40 million people in 1 month, um, which is like the fastest growth rate ever. Yeah. Um, the US is looking at it right now, but they don't know how. Like I don't know if it's severe. It's probably not as severe, but it's just because how fast it spread. It's just a lot of people getting sick, right? Um, but I don't think it's like like the beginning where a lot of people die. But yeah. Um, yeah. Anyhow, we'll see some like usually I only focus on the strong stocks, but there's I see a lot of stocks that just on the downtrend mode, and so yeah, so that's that. Any questions so far? I'm gonna go through my notes quickly because I don't want to miss. I think most of this is probably not new to you. So I did listen to Charles Harris interview a week ago. Just for hearing his take on the market, right? Even before the Nvidia news stuff. Um, he said Nasdaq broke out a 7-week cup with handle breakout. So we go to Nasdaq chart, right? Is this right here, right? 7 weeks right here. If I can draw it right here, 7 week. It's a short base. It broke out right here. You see, even right here, it couldn't break out, and then once it broke out, it took off. Okay, so he's definitely more bullish now. Long term. Um, and also he said this is one of the most prolonged bears. And Jim Ropel also agreed with this. He also said the same thing. He said that this is one of the longest bear. It depends on how you count. Some people count from February 2021 because a lot of the high profile stocks start dropping since then. Not the big caps, all right? The mega caps didn't drop until, like I said, uh, even some of them even January of 2022. But for most of them, they dropped, like, if you go back to Nasdaq chart here, weekly. So here, this is, yeah, so right here. No, sorry. Where are we? Yeah, right here, February top. So some stocks start breaking down from this level. If we look at, I don't know if I have the symbol. Let me see if I can find. I always forget. Let me go pull up. I feel like that index is a really good index to look at. Give me a second here. Oops. Because I like looking at the IBD 50 index. Let me see if I can find it here. I always forget the symbol. Here, I have it here. No, why is it not here? Anyhow, okay, maybe I'll type in IBD 50. Maybe I'll show up. Let me try that. There you go. 0 IBD5. There you go. Okay, so this is a basket of 50 growth stocks, right? The IBD monitor. And let me see where this top is. Okay, so it's still November. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so November 2021 is the top for most growth stock, right? And so it's if you count from that, we are now like literally 18 months. It's a really long and see here's the problem, right? And this basket of 50 stocks is like pretty diversified usually. Um, I don't know how diversified it is, but it's not all tech stocks, right? But it is all growth stock. So you can see it's not even comparable to where QQQ is, right? You know, it has a small uptrend here and then it went sideways. You see? And it's still stuck at this 200 moving average. And this is not normal. But if you look at the pandemic lows and then you see how it runs, right? And then you look at how it runs here, like, yeah, it's just a very different story. So anyhow, coming back to the point is he thinks that this bear market is getting old. He also talked about um, stocks can like even right now, like the run right now, he say it could go much more extended than most people think, right? And the SMSCI is probably a good example. Um, but I really think SMCI like it's gonna fall soon. Like it might make another 50% move, like it might jump to like 200 or something, but it's gonna be very short. Like it's what I'm saying from a time frame perspective. Just because of FOMO, it can run up really fast. Like that's why you don't want to short stocks either until they actually show symptoms of breaking down. Then maybe you can think of shorting. In the other thing he likes in like if you believe this is a bull market, then you know that's one thing I've learned from him is he likes buying on pullbacks, and so he said you can trust those pullbacks turn around, right? Um, so for example, right, like I said, I could have bought Nvidia here because I really like Nvidia. But like I said, I just didn't want to buy it because I really want to see that even though in my gut tells me they will do well, forecast well, I just want to know how much and of course they surprise everyone, right? With like 50%, I think almost 50% growth in revenue guidance. That's crazy. Like revenue, 50% growth. But anyhow, see, here's the pullback. See, this is a very clear pullback, and I was like, oh man, this is a good opportunity to buy right here. Like you know, you may not get it at the bottom, you may get it on Tuesday or Wednesday, but either way, like this is a good pullback. You trust the pullback on the bull market, right? So that's what he's talking about, right? And like I said, he talked about this even before that this happened. Um, and then you want the whole stock for a long. Oh no, this is talking about his learning lesson during the bear market. So you do have to really follow the market, as we all learned from 2022. When it goes down hard. Don't do it on margin, and then stocks can fall really hard, right? So that was his, biggest problem, was that he just like holds on too much, and then he was on margin. So that was something that really burned him. But yeah, he's doing really well right now. Anyhow, so Monday, right? Market starting to pull back. Breadth remains narrow. Um, and then in 2021 we had the same issue. That's before the bear market starts. Okay, New York Stock Exchange events decline line remains range bound. Okay, so let me just bring that up. Uh, let me see here. Secondary indicator GM. Okay, so there's two here. So Nasdaq. Okay. I don't know why it's not okay. The line here. But anyhow, you can see here again. So this is Nasdaq. Look at this. Yeah, it's trending down. Yeah, that's unusual. This is not good, right? In fact, I think it was mentioned here in my notes. On it was later on. I'm pretty sure I have some, no, maybe I forgot to write it down. Yeah. Anyhow, on Thursday's rebound, like on Nvidia news, there was 2-to-1 AD events, two decline for every one advance on Nasdaq on Thursday. That's super unusual, you know. So you would think when the index goes up and market has a strong day, um, that the number of stocks advancing would be much more than the decline. It was the opposite. So again, it's never more clear in terms of this line right here. Like it's just so weak, right? You expect it to like bounce, make new high, instead of coming back down to this trend line. Um, it's just so weak. It's unbelievable weak. Um, yeah. And then if we look at NYSE, again, this has this lid here. Now it's at the bottom of the range again. Look at that. It's not good. It's not looking good. Like it doesn't, like I said, the story continues from the week before. It doesn't take much for things to break down. Um, this was the Nasdaq 52-week lows and the number of stocks falling in higher volume. Again, trending the wrong way, right? That again, that's another problem. So if I can pull that up, I think it's this one now. New lows versus new high versus new. So okay, so the new lows are definitely declining now. So that's good on the Nasdaq. This is on the Nasdaq, and then the new high is rising a little bit. It's still low. You see, 81 is still low. If we go to NYSE, they're about flat. Again, no improvement there. So not good. Okay, so we can look at bond, USD, and gold. So let's look at those now. So this is also a very interesting story here. So we can look at gold on the downtrend. This is clearly now like this might break this long-term downtrend soon. Um, but this is on a really clear downtrend. So gold is going down. US dollar is going up. So they're going opposite of each other. See? So you see, they're both at critical junction. Like that one is at the previous one goes at the 200-day trend line. I mean the bottom trend line, and then this one's at the 200-day trend line. See? So they both, it's almost like it could reverse. I don't know. We'll see. Um, and then the yield again, same thing, going up. So US dollar is following that. Um, yeah. Now normally U goes up, the tech stock go down, but not this in this recent rally, which is very interesting. Um, home builders. Look at home builders. It's been one of the strongest sector, you know, recently, and look at it. It's starting to break down. That's very interesting too. Now it found some support at the 10-day this last 2 days, but even then, look at Friday. Look at that. It just couldn't come up above the 10-day. You know, so home building is breaking down, right? So there's a slight story here, which is looks like the yield is going back up, which means inflation is predicting that inflation is here to stay, and home builder is going the opposite way now. Like, this is very interesting. I find this is very interesting. Like, if you look at DHI, which is probably the most pronounced home building stock, it's been on a nice uptrend for a long time now, and now it's starting again. Same thing. You can see it's starting to break down now. So this is not good. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's that. So a lot of stocks that I didn't expect to fall this week falls. That's why I didn't really like the market at all, right? ISRG. Look at this. All of a sudden, it got knocked down on Tuesday, I think, for no reason. Like no reason. Like people just start selling this. Well, that's not good. Look at Penn. Same thing. I don't know what happened that day. Like, all these stocks got hammered. Uh, these are mostly medical stocks, but still, like right here, another one, MMSI, another one here. So these are all on downtrend now, is what I'm trying to say, which is weird. Um, I don't know why, but they have been on a strong run, right? The ISRGs was something I was holding before. They were on a strong run, and now they're breaking down. Which again, even the strongest, like there's not many growth stocks out there in different sectors, and even those ones are starting to break down. This is not good. And then the rebound is so weak, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, this is not good. Um, LVS, right? Like again, Las Vegas, and I mean, a lot of casino stocks are hitting hard right now. That I don't know what's going on there, but like other than the China news thing, but some of this, like when some of this, I don't think all of this have China operations, but look at this, man. It's like almost hitting new low for the last 2, 3 months. Like, like what's going on, And then Ferrari, let's look at Ferrari. Like look at this, big drop on Tuesday. Like it's a lot of there's a lot of selling on Tuesday on a lot of sectors. Like I know like it wasn't as like very clear, but when you look underneath, you see a lot of growth stocks in different sectors hit on Tuesday. It's almost like a top for them. And that's the part that's really scary right now. Because I don't expect all these other sectors to fall, right? Like this, this one is probably one of the. Look at this guy. I mean, okay, this guy has earnings, but I don't remember what happened. They beat their earnings. Maybe their guidance was down. I don't know. Wednesday, Okay, we talked about this already. It broke the lower channel line, but then it rebound, right? Tuesday, Friday. Okay, PNW. So, like, there's so many good growth stocks, right? Like PNW, I really like this stock. Um, it had report good earnings. It's not as high flying as some other ones, but it's doing really well. Like the one thing I really like this stock, and I'll focus on this for a second. Look at the institution quality here. So 2200, 2300, 2400, 20, like 100-fold jump on every quarter. 100 institution jumps in. Like this is like as good as Nvidia. Let's put it that way. Like if you go to Nvidia, like this one has a drop here. See, this one has a drop here, 55 to 53, 54, 56, right? But this is a giant cap stock, right? So you know, but this is what 900 billion. But look at Palo Alto, 64 billion, right? Look at how many institutions jumping in. Like to me, this could be a giant, right? Like this could be the next giant for me. Um, yeah, I really like the numbers are superb. Like even the most recent announcement, it's just unbelievable. Like I really like this stock. Um, uh, and it was yeah, it was one of the stocks that was up, well, because of earnings, but still, on that down day. Um, yeah, on Thursday, yeah, Nvidia, Elf. Okay, let's look at Elf. Elf again. Oh man, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you are like a growth stock, right, and you follow mini principle, and you focus on those stocks that are on stage two uptrend, and you're willing to manage your risk properly for like longer term, this is one good example of that. You know, um, I mean, this guy started running even before everyone else did in October, like I mean, of last year. Like it ran before everyone did. Like you can see, October is like around here, and it started going up right here, right? And then from then, uh, yeah, this is around October. So from there, you see the first base it built, like the tightest base was right here, like over 5 weeks. But ever since that moment, this whole run, there wasn't a base build. That's like incredible. Like this, and this base was so tight, right? Like I mean, okay, it shake out a lot of people here on this week, and then it bounced back, and it continued that run. And then this is the next one, like one, two, three, four. See, IBD didn't even draw it because it didn't conclude the fifth week of base, right? So it didn't draw it because it usually the way they count is based on weekly. But like it's close to 5 weeks, but it just didn't quite finish that fifth week, and then it bounced and break out from there. So of course it bounced on the earnings, but again, this is just one, like look at this. Okay, so we talk about institutional sponsorship for Palo Alto, right? And that's a 60 billion cap, and has about what one, let's say on average 100 institutions come in. Look at this guy, 400, 450, 500, 550. That's a 50 institution increase every quarter on a small cap stock, right? That's big numbers for a small, like medium cap, let's call it 5 billion. So this guy, like the number of institutions jumping into this stock, is just incredible. Um, yeah, I mean, and you look at this technicals, like this is by far the best technical trend I've seen so far out of every single stock. Um, like I said, it couldn't even build a base that correct a lot. Like look at, like these bases are so small. Look at this, 8% depth. You see, 8% on a 5 week base. That's amazing, man. That is amazing. Anyhow, like, so when we talking about like, hey, looking for that stage two stock, like when we talking about, these are the guys that you want to hold, and of course you're gonna stick through those. The goal is to like buy at the right point, get ahead 20, 30, 40, 50%, and then go through those corrections, And
Yeah. So yeah, let's continue with this. Okay, Miniso. So see, this one is on a downtrend now. That's kind of right. This one like fails me so many times. Like it finally like looked like it's breaking down. You can see the 10-day sloping down really strong now. So he'll probably try to find support at 200. Unfortunately, but yeah, still a very good stock. It's just correction now. So this is kind of like what I'm talking about. Right? So some areas gonna break down. ACLS really strong. Look at this, right? 3-day pullback, and then 2 days big jump. Yeah, really strong. Let's see, health, AI. Yeah, AI, like, it's I was looking at this on Monday, Tuesday right here. And even Wednesday I was looking at, like, why is it not pulling back? And it was like green really fast. Like, even though the market was pulling back in the morning, it was like oh, suddenly it's green. I was like, what's going on here? It just doesn't want to pull back, right? And so, like, of course, I didn't know, like, no one knows Nvidia was going to do that well, but it really just, like, everyone just went bazooka on AI stocks on Thursday. Well, that's that. Let's look at this health stock, EXAS. Well, this is finding a little bit of support here, not much. It's not moving up again. So whenever the market goes up, I like to see it move up, and it didn't do that. So that's the problem there. ELF we already talked about. Rambus. Like, Rambus, I think, was one of the really high flyers too. Yeah, there you go. Really high flyer. It jumped a lot in 2 days.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Rambus. I mean, this was one like really high flying stock, like even before those pullback right here. Like, it was moving so fast. I think it was one of the fastest moving stock, like in a few sessions before this Nvidia thing. The only reason it's not in my list is because a lot of these tech stocks, that's one thing I realized, right? A lot of the chip stocks recently, including SMCI, like, they all have negative growth in earnings, right? So that's something that to be careful of, because sometimes, even though the market is trying to look past through it, but if they don't like deliver, and probably they will, but I'm just saying, if they don't, then these stocks are priced for perfection right now. You know what I'm saying? Which means they could have a bigger correction later, right? That's the thing that I'm most worried about. It's not like, oh, is this stock gonna continue or not? It's more about, like, even if it continue, but what happens if it pull back really, really strong, right? Yeah, and then, of course, that depends on your investment style too. IAS is pretty good too. Let me see. I was trading in this stock. It hasn't made a strong move like the other guys. This is more steady. So, but it also didn't pull back, right? Like, even like same thing Monday. This is like, it also didn't pull back much, which is like very interesting stock. So it's like, it's more stable, this stock, which is, I'm really surprised, because this is not a big cap stock. It's a small cap, but it's very stable. I'm really surprised. So sure, I haven't traded this stock. Let's see. Okay, this is on a downtrend, and it's not liquid, so that's a problem there. So Shopify, this is really weird. Like, I'll show you this chart. Shopify has been pulling back, and it didn't participate in this AI rally thing. So I don't know what's with that.
Yeah.
To me, that spell cautious to me. Yeah, I don't like that. Like, I would expect to see some rebound. So it didn't happen. So that's really weird. So I don't like it at all. ImGen, LTH retail. So Lifetime Health Fitness. This guy, I think is kind of sideways motion right now, which is not a bad thing. Because at least it's not in a big downtrend. So this one is probably one of the better growth stocks. Because it's holding up pretty well. It's it's forming a pendant pattern. Lastly, Intel. Okay, let's look at Intel. Okay, so this one has broken down. Yeah, now it's on a downtrend. So this one also didn't participate in the rally. Bico. Let's see if there's any TGLS. Okay, let's look at TGLS. Okay, so this one, same thing. So this is a product construction. So a lot of the building products has broken down, which is also, I don't know, I guess it's time for them to correct. So this is, again, so it looks like other than the tech sector, this is what I'm talking about, like other sectors, even the growth stocks are starting to correct. So that's never a good sign. Yeah, so I don't like it. So this is TME. I'm starting to watch this stock. This is Tencent. Yeah, Tencent Music in China, and pretty good base is building. Earnings are turning up. It's still very volatile. Like any Chinese stocks is volatile, right? So if you have the stomach for it, but I guess it's still on a downtrend. We're still waiting for this downtrend to be broken right here. It tried many times now. It just couldn't beat it. So, but it's getting narrower, the volatility. So at some point it's gonna break out, I think. And this base is really long now. It's getting long in the tube, so it's getting close to, it's up. Yeah. ALGM, I haven't looked at this in a while. Let's see if it recovered, because it was really low. Yeah, see, it's still below 50-day. It's one of the weaker ones. I mean, it did bounce, but it's just still pretty low here. Oh, this one, ANF. This is not many retails are doing well, but there's a few of them. ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. Like earnings just exploded. It's building the right side of the base. Look at this. Big one day bounce. Look at what, second day getting tight. Third day getting tighter. Close near the top. This is good action. This is really good action. Again, this is a turnaround story. There's not many retail stocks doing this right now, which is interesting. So, yeah, ANF's looking good. I like this one. Let's put a star in this. Hubs, yeah, Hubs doing well. It's in the software enterprise. Almost all the software enterprise stocks are all doing well. Yeah, it's near the 20% profit taking zone. Really strong. This China stock, we'll skip it. And Spotify, let's take a look. And ASML. Spotify is doing well too. So, yeah, it's finding support at 10-day. Yeah, it's okay. And then ASML, another chip stock. So, yeah, looking really good. Make new high. So this is a nice clean breakout. See, very nice clean breakout. So there, like I said, the question is, a assuming those stocks all move together, and stocks like ASML just breaking out, which is the little bit behind. Most of the time when breakout works, they do move 20%. So does that mean it has, like, if the whole market is falling, say this scenario, that means there's still more room for the market to move up. Yeah, that's something to pay attention to, because not every stock are at, like, super high. Some of them are just starting to break out, right? And this is, so I don't know. It's kind of a mixed message, I think. Some are flying so fast, and some are just starting to break out. So, yeah. Let's look at. We haven't looked at oil in a while. Let's take a quick look. OII. Okay, so this is in the downtrend. UST. So this one, is one of the few smaller cap that is doing well. It continues to find support at this 50 day. This is like really amazing. But it's still volatile, right? This stock's very volatile because it's small cap. Yeah. Okay, let's look at airlines. RYAY. Yeah, they're doing not bad. I mean, they're I think on Tuesday I bought some of the airlines, but I don't know. I decided to let them go. I might get back in. I'll see. Like, I'm just not very optimistic about the market right now. But maybe I'm super wrong. But this is one example that is definitely in an uptrend right now, and this is probably one of the strongest ones. So, we already talk about WIN, INSP. We talk about that. Even DraftKings. Let's see. I think DraftKings is doing well now. Let me see. Because I remember hearing about it. Okay, so it did, like, see, this is the problem with DraftKings. It runs up 1-2 day and then boom, it falls back. Another 1-2 day, like, but it is making new high every time it bounces. But this is a very hard stock to hold, man. Unless you have a bigger risk level, right? Let's see, that's the kind of risk level you have to give it to run. But it seems to do that. You have this 1 day and then pull back. 1-2 days pull back. Like, very hard to hold. But it is moving in the uptrend though, so that's the beauty of it. Cruise line. Let's take a look. Cruise line is I think it's strong too. Let me. I was in RCL a week ago, more than a week ago. So you see, I was here, but I think I got out. I don't remember which day. Yeah. So right now, it's above 10 day. It's tight. It's tight trading. This is really tight trading. So that's one thing I like about it. So yeah, looking okay. But the retails have been not performing well, in general. Oh, that's something we haven't looked at. Let me just pull up my export sheet here. We'll look at the groups accumulation. So let's see what happened. Okay, so we have confirmed uptrend a couple of weeks ago, and since then, technology has outshined every other group. In fact, most groups are not under accumulation. You can see here. The last 4 days, look at how weak this is. This is what I'm talking about. There's no accumulation in those sectors. And you can see, like,